I want to just blow your mind with some things. You've heard me say it. You're going to hear me continue to say it on this topic. And it's about your kids. It's about your kids. Big Brother believes that the government and ultimately the socialist state is the best parent for your children. They have effectively supplanted private institutions such as the church for, quote, educating our kids, and have placed a well-marked target on the backs of parents and their authority. Now, the state wants your kids. We know that. And it would seem that we are more than willing to give our next generation over to them so that we just simply don't have to deal with the inconvenience of raising and educating them. I mean, it's enough that we feed them, right? Listen closely, folks. As long as the lunatic progressive leftists have their socialist way, and they have for generations now in the areas of media, policy, economy, and education, we will only experience turmoil and bloodshed and famine and theft and decline and incompetence and unremitting promises of a coming utopia that will never come. They must have your children. They must control their minds. It's the only way to guarantee the future of their socialist agenda. So through the systematic K through 12 brainwashing of our kids, they're evolving into non-critical thinking automatons that truly believe the state has their best interest at heart. And we've got to learn from history, folks. When the Bolsheviks seized power in Russia in October 1917, Anatoly Lunacharsky was made Soviet Commissar for Education and the Arts, a post he would maintain until 1929. And while he and Lenin, and later on Stalin, didn't agree on all the finer points of their communist doctrines, they did agree on a few basics, such as there was no God, there was no such thing as a soul, there was no afterlife, and the supreme responsibility of the state was to make good communists. So in his view, the only way to make good communists was for the state to usurp the role of the parents. His mission was to remove the children from their homes and place them into state-run orphanages that dotted the Russian landscape. Yeah, they took their kids away and put them in orphanages. Lunacharsky thought of the family setting as a petty bourgeois structure. But that's Russia, right? That never happened here. I mean, that's just Russia. Well, author and education activist Jennifer Berkshire recently said in her new book, the argument that public schools have supplanted private institutions, namely churches and the family, is a response to the expanding role we expect schools to play in the care for children. So, folks, it's happening. It's happening. We've recently heard parents referred to as domestic terrorists by Attorney General Merrick Garland. What the hell do you think is going on here? When the Russian state took children from their parents and placed them into education camps and orphanages, the results were physically dismal, as you can imagine it would be when a state government attempts to raise kids en masse. But one thing it did is supplied the state, and particularly the KGB, with plenty of recruits, informants, interrogators, and executioners. Just remember, folks, ideas have consequences, and progressives never give up on bad ideas. That's a great tweet, by the way. I'm going to make it. They just keep recycling their bad ideas under the guise of, it's never really been tried before, and if it has, then it wasn't tried properly. It's time for parents in America to take back control and stop the human ideological experiments at the expense of our kids and their future.